Well, once again, I've decided not to give Hank Paulson, not to give him too much playtime in terms of the national media, our mainstream press, our brilliant and non-balanced press corps out there. I'm just gonna simply point you to his bio on the Wikipedia page, which will tell you quite a bit about this man, who is now proclaiming, without a sense of irony, obviously, that Russia and China are behind our economic financial meltdown. Now, this is a guy, CEO of Goldman Sachs, who was basically begging the Chinese not to crash the dollar. That's very same person, you know. I mean, it just gets more incredible as you go along. Once you start really delving into this shit. So here's Hank Paulson proclaiming that the Chinese government and the Russians are bringing down the United States of America. They are the ones who are causing the global financial meltdown. When in actuality, the Chinese are holding our goddamn loans. And are in bed with Hank Paulson and his cronies. And the entire notion that, you know, the Chinese government is communist. At this point, it's pretty much laughable, you know. All you have to do is to look at their policies. Yeah, they have a centralized government, but guess where that government is going? Because it's not entirely communist, you know. It's entirely in the service of Wall Street at this point. So it's pretty fucking ironic for Hank Paulson to view the Chinese government as his enemy. You gotta love your 401k plan at this point. You know, if Wall Street is telling you keep investing in it, do it. And if the politicos on televisions tell you, oh please, you know, let's just invest Social Security into the stock market, because it can't, I mean, the investments in Social Security are just not sustainable because it doesn't bring enough return in the short run. Let's all just invest in more Wall Street derivatives in terms of our retirement accounts. The very thing that will sustain you when you get old or sick. And then trust Wall Street, because they have most certainly your best interest in mind. Even if your stocks crash or your investments crash, via their stupid and greedy decisions, by that time you'll be left on your own, basically. And so this is why Social Security basically came about in the first place, because of the greed of Wall Street, who didn't care much about the ordinary person. They didn't give a shit. This is why Social Security came into being, a minimum safety standard. If you didn't have enough money to save on your low wages or on your own, to keep you from dying in the street, or for that matter, to keep you from revolutionizing and being against the government as a whole. That's not altogether a bad contract. Once you're helpless and old and you can't fight back and you're sick, who's going to lobby for you? Who is going to be that lobby? Do you think it's going to be somebody on Wall Street? Or some CEO working at Cigna or Aetna or United Healthcare? I didn't think so. This is not about communists taking over the country. It's about basic human decency amongst people. And people who want the government to represent us, which they are not doing. This is essentially what it boils down to. It's not right or left or some sort of idiom. It's basic human needs. Giving a little to a neighbor won't hurt you, as long as that neighbor isn't taking continuous advantage of you. It's just basic common sense.